Mic check, test, 1, 2. Mic check, test, 1, 2. Hey everyone, did you like that? I forgot that I was already live and I was checking my mic. But anyway, yeah, it's July 8th, 2021, and we're going to make another comic strip. Welcome once again to Callous Comics Live. And if you're joining me, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll have a good time while we make a new comic strip. And I'll be starting one from scratch, actually. I'll be penciling and hopefully inking it as well tonight. So I'm inviting all of you to just hang out with me. You know, we can chit-chat about whatever, and we'll have some fun, you know, just chill, hang out. We'll get started in just a bit. Was doing the wrong thing. So what I'll need is this guy. There we go. Alright, we're gonna get started in just a moment. Alright. Okay then. Let me just get things where they're comfortable. The life of the one-man artist streamer, right? So, the comic strip that I thought of today is a bit deeper than the ones we were just doing the past few days. This one, I'm actually, oh gosh, I'm trying. You know, when you thought of a comic strip or an idea, and then when the time came, you just pretty much forgot about it. But yeah, it's about, yeah, there you go. Kind of like a commentary on why science actually has a hard time convincing, you know, the common person that that they're science, that they're right, you know. So here we go. Oh, we have a couple of likes, I think. I cannot see who they are. Well, that's a sad thing because I cannot see. It isn't popping up on my streaming service. So, whoever you guys are, thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. Here's 2 thumbs up for the both of you. And a third one. Here's the third one. they're not popping up on my. There's supposed to be like this pop-up thing to tell me that I'm getting likes and so on, but unfortunately I cannot see who you are. Leave a comment if you can, that way I might be able to see what's going on. But whoever you are, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and hopefully you'll enjoy what you see. Now I did decide on doing a hi. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Let me just check if My pencil is not connected. Alright, here's my dilemma right now, because in order for me to reconnect my Apple Pencil to my iPad, I'll actually have to disconnect the iPad from my laptop. So, but we can work around that. I have to do this for a moment. Technology, right? This didn't happen when I was drawing on paper. But yeah, here we are, and you gotta go with the times. You know what I mean? That should be long enough. I know my pencil is charged up quite a bit. We should be able to see how much it has. Yeah, quite a bit. Anyway, yeah, let's get back to every stream I seem to have some sort of technical difficulty. But let's see if things are working out now. Yeah, they are. Let's put the transition on. Alright. So, as I was saying, I originally wanted to have like a face-to-face consultation between Dr. Rianne and a patient. But with the way things are, yeah, maybe I will make it an online consult. Pretty much like the second to the last comic strip that I did. So we will need I'm still forming the layout of the panel in my head, but yeah, pretty much he will need a computer of sorts for the online consult. I'm gonna change the music just a bit. If you do like this though, this is... well, all the music that you're hearing on the stream was brought to you by Pretzel Rocks, and this is Raised with the Fire by Abstraction. But I'm gonna skip it. Here's another one by Abstraction called Multi-Thread Layer 1. Might keep this one. So this is Less Than I Used To by Kino off their Do You Think of Me EP. Alright, so yeah, we were drawing a laptop actually, and sort of an inner gag or long-running gag on my comics is I kind of have a instead of like an Apple logo, I have a Pac-Man-ish symbol, and the main computer brand that everyone seems to be using is called the iPac. I do want to draw like an external webcam, although I know most laptops already have a webcam on them, but just to get the message across to the reader that there is a sort of online consult going on. This actually looks quite a lot like the webcam that I'm using right now. I am streaming from a laptop, but I'm not using its internal webcam. I have a sort of nicer one propped up on my my second monitor. So the thing is, one of the challenges that us physicians faced during this whole pandemic was all the unsubstantiated claims on certain modes of treatment for COVID-19, and while we never really discredited them outright, we still have to adhere to science. There were certain there's certain types of trials that we listen to more than, say, anecdotal or observational studies. So, or studies, quote unquote, and or evidence. I'm not sure what the proper term would be, but yeah, we of course, before we agree to use a certain mode of therapy, it has to undergo like its clinical trials, and those clinical trials have to be based on certain types of studies or other trials. So, but the thing is, and this is the point of this entire comic strip, we cannot. One of our challenges again is science doesn't appeal to everyone, and that's an unfortunate fact. And when you try to be all sciencey, I mean, medicine, being a physician, is a science. We are scientists in the healthcare arena, so to speak. And when we try to explain why we're doing what we're doing, all the methodologies, the studies, and so on, we can pretty much see the person we're talking to zone out. So yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. We have to kind of prove to the person we're talking to that why this is science, why, this is because of a randomized controlled trial, and there were clinical trials, phase 1, 2, 3, and so on, and you could just see their eyes glaze, and people just zone out. But if you get if they get like a message on their messaging app, or a Facebook, or a forwarded email, or a Facebook post, and they take it as scientific fact, I guess it's the challenge of science to be entertaining, I guess, and but it's tough because, for one, there are legal reasons why we have to define all the parameters of our science, to tell the people, hey, this is why this is worth your attention, and not like a forwarded email or a Viber post or whatever. And but to the common social media user, that kind of stuff may be kind of boring AF. So it's a challenge. And that's the point of this comic strip. I'm not trying to discredit any treatment modality or any or to prove any, for that matter. I'm trying to show the challenge science has to appeal to the common social media user. So we have this is actually a patient. Another challenge I have as an artist is that I always have to think of a different person as a patient. They all have to be different. And to come up with a different face, different clothes in particular. I'm like, what shirt is this person going to wear now? Oh, we have a comment from Shy Penciler. I wish I could also make comic strips for Manila Bulletin someday. LOL. You know what? Growing up, my parents actually subscribed to Manila Bulletin, so we got this was my introduction to comics in general. It's not just comic strips, but of course comic strips, but comics in general. were the comics. The first comics that I actually read regularly were the comic strips in the Manila Bulletin. So we're talking about Baltic and Company. Frankenpin was there before. Cesar Asar, My Little Pupong, which is just Pupong now. And of course, the comics that came from abroad. There was Archie, and no, Peanuts and Garfield were in another. No. Oh my gosh, I have my first spam. I've never gotten spam on my message board before. Thanks, man. Great post. Thanks for sharing. So, yeah, and of course, back then, that was a dream of mine to be in Manila Bulletin. Not in any other newspaper. And of course, they have fantastic comics as well. But the Manila Bulletin is where I had my sights set. And but you know what? One thing led to another. I ended up in med school. I became a physician, and my dream of becoming a comic strip artist pretty much, puffed into smoke. But being an artist is an itch that I had to scratch, so I decided to kind of dare myself to draw a comic strip every day on my website at callouscomics.com. Little plug there. And I just didn't stop, I guess. And then, I discovered that there were Comic Cons in my country here in the Philippines. So I decided to try to get a table, and I did. I printed out my first book by myself on a printer, and sold. I made 80 copies of my first collection of comic strips, sold them there. Then a couple of years later, one thing led to another. The opportunity to submit a pitch to the Manila Bulletin came along. So I jumped at the chance, and you hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. I was ready to be rejected. That's the usual thing that happens anyway. There are thousands and thousands of artists who want to be in the newspaper, so I didn't feel that my stuff was up to their standard. But the editor of the Manila Bulletin Comics page, the great Ronnie Santiago, felt otherwise, and here and there I was. So since then, apart from being a physician, being a cartoonist had become a second profession. So you never really know. You just got to keep trying. Yes, I was at the right place at the right time. Luck was a factor in my case, at least. And you just gotta keep on trying. That was a song from Queen, which I don't remember the title. Oh, well, anyway, we should get back to drawing. So, yeah, this is a patient. For no reason whatsoever, I decided that he would be male. Though patients like this, I encounter, male and female, pretty much equally. A lot of them you wouldn't expect. They're well educated, they're pretty smart, they carry themselves very well, they're well kept, and so on. When you see them, they're not idiots, but I don't know. It's the power of social media, the power of I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain why science is just having such a tough time right now. Yes, I'm pointing out here in this comic strip, at least, that it's kind of boring for your common social media user. So you post whatever infographics you want, but they kind of end up being ignored. I don't know why I decided for this guy to have like a crew cut, but so this is me kind of rushing it. I'm not doing my usual draw the kind of skeletal structure first, but I've been chit-chatting so much. But again, thank you, Shy Penciler, for your comment and for being here. So I kind of wanted him to be showing his mobile phone on the to Dr. Rian. You would think, me being a physician, I know my anatomy a lot better, but I can already see so many issues in what I'm doing. But as a cartoonist, one of the fundamentals is that you're able to portray what you're trying to say, and for me, a lot of times, as long as I achieve that, it's good enough for me, whether things are anatomically correct or not. While we're on this topic, yes, I am pro-vaccination. If for whatever reason, whatever verifiable health reason, you cannot, that's okay. If you should not get a vaccine, you shouldn't. But for most people, otherwise, I am pro-vaccine. You should get your COVID-19 shot. It doesn't matter what brand it is. Our goal is to get as many people with the proper antibodies out there in the shortest possible time. And before the world could decide to make more variants, we need to kind of protect what do you call this? A larger amount of the population as fast as possible. It's not even a political thing or anything. It's, again, it's science. And it is for those people that cannot, for whatever health reason, they cannot receive a vaccine. It is for them that anyone who can should. It is for their protection as well as the person who receives a vaccine. I'm kind of thinking of doing another shortcut here. This is one of the nice things about being digital. Yeah, shortcuts. Let's have another shortcut. Now we'll just have to edit those pencils, but I'll combine these three together. I don't do this all the time, but sometimes you just want to speed up the process, streamline your process, you know what I mean? Oh, we have a comment. I too sometimes get hesitant to follow through on the theories the moment I hear the words Big Pharma. How often do you hear that when discussing home remedies or anecdotal evidence? You know what? To the credit of the people, at least in my vicinity, I don't encounter that too often. What I do encounter a lot. I had a train of thought that I forgot. I'm getting old. You know what? I'm actually not against home remedies as long as they're treated as an adjunct or in addition to the established therapies. So supplements and stuff like that. As long as they're not really harming anyone, I'm perfectly fine with people taking them as long as they're in addition to what they're supposed to be taking. You know, the scientifically approved therapies. Oh, we're in the presence of greatness. So we have the great D Parson and a syndicated cartoonist here in the chat. So hi D, thank you for joining me. Yes, it is Callous time. I had a point for Jamie, but I totally forgot what it was. I'm so sorry. I feel that I need this guy to be holding the Oh, I have another comment from D. I'm not a great... Oh, you are. Come on. But yes, thank you. It is nice to be back. I'm kind of using the streaming to kind of force myself to work on the comic. Here we have the panel with Rianne, finally, who is using the same brand of computer that everyone seems to be using in my comics. She also has the little webcam, even though the laptop already does have one. But yeah, oh, we have a tangent here. Gonna add that. I am trying to show the reader that it's an online consult, that there's a camera. Now, when I do my online consults, I don't do what Rianne is doing here, where she is actually wearing her white coat. I don't. One of the nice things about doing online consults at home is you don't really have to prepare that much. Back in the day, before this pandemic, I would, groom myself, make myself take a shower before I go to work, wear nice professional looking clothes, but now with the whole online stuff, you just get out of bed, throw on a pair of scrubs, and you're all set. Unless it's a meeting. If it's like a business meeting, sometimes I do kind of make myself look a little bit more professional. if you've seen me at a Comic-Con wearing scrubs, yes, sometimes I do that, and you know, it is to show that the comic that I'm doing is related to medicine. But on the other hand, you know what? Scrubs, they're super comfy. If you're gonna spend all day at a comic convention, it's nice to wear scrubs. They're super comfy. It's like going to a Comic-Con in pajamas. Pretty recently, recently, I gave a talk as a physician this time to or not just a physician, but like someone who works in nuclear science. Yes, my specialty what's wrong with me, my specialty is nuclear medicine, and I was talking about the application of nuclear science to, you know, healthcare, to medicine, and I was able to talk to a bunch of grad students from the University of Rizal, and you know, they were very grateful. It was a good time. Why did I bring that up? Oh, well, I did not wear scrubs then, you know, I wore something nice, or, you know, decent. We have a comment, scrubs, professional pajamas. Yeah, they are. Oh, I wonder, do you guys know what the point of scrubs are? Normally, like hospitals that do provide scrubs, the reason why doctors wear them in the hospital is that they are actually laundered by the institution. So when you put them on, you're sure that they're washed. One of the it's not as common as it was before anymore, but one of the dark secrets of medicine here in the Philippines before was that doctors never really washed their white coats. But when, you know, we over time we started realizing that it's probably not a good idea to not wash your white coat, so they are washed very regularly now, at least until before the pandemic. Going to work nowadays, I don't wear my white coat. I just go in scrubs. Oh my gosh, Brian Gibson, hello. Brian Gibson is an absolutely fantastic comic artist and cartoonist. This is great. I've just got an Apple Pencil and Procreate from my iPad and starting to make comics again after a long break. Yeah, same here actually. Good to see you doing well. Good to see you, sir. Wow. Brian Gibson was one of my very first, you know, contacts on Twitter when I started my own Twitter account back in, what was it, 2009. And I love his art. You really should go check him out. I don't know if he still has the same Twitter handle. I think it's BG Art, at BG Art rather. And yeah, so if you can check out his stuff, he is a fantastic artist. And he does a lot of murals nowadays, I think. So, oh, another comment from Jeremy Sanchez. Hello, sir. Good thing we don't need to wear pants to go to work at this time. I'm not gonna stand up. So, oh well, I'm not in work clothes or anything right now. So yes, I'm telling you right now, I'm wearing shorts at least. Greats recognizing greats. Absolutely. You know what? For all my artist colleagues, I try my very best to tell the world whenever I have the opportunity why they are so great. Like for the amazing D Parson here right now, go check out his comic Rosebuds at Go Comics, and where else? A whole bunch of other places. But yes, it's a fantastic comic. It's about a trio of sisters who and they're just going through their everyday lives. It's very entertaining. The art is super cute and super endearing and super lovable. Please do check it out. I think we're done with the pencils. Yeah, same with Brian. I did opt to use the Apple Pencil with Procreate. I just couldn't get the hang of using a Wacom tablet. I don't know, my muscle memory or whatever just wouldn't accept it. I guess I'm that old. And but with at least with the Procreate, with the iPad, the Apple Pencil, and Procreate, somehow it is. I just got it, you know. Stop! I can't handle this. You're just too amazing. Thank you. I just adore everything you do. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So, I'm super grateful right now that I actually remembered to put a new layer for my inks. Oh, geez, that's not the right pen. Okay, there you go. So as far as art lessons go, I've only had my high school art class, and my art, I don't know how accurate this is, but my art teacher back then would tell me that when you're drawing eyebrows, for males you're supposed to draw from the outside going in, and for females it's the opposite. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but because that's what I was taught, that's what I do. Right, this music's kind of too spacey. Let's try to... But I will give the artist their due. So this is '03 by Vince Piersman from their album Mantra Volume 1, Binaural Beats. We're moving on to the next track. This is Kaiden Diplomacy by Chipsil from their album Interstellaria. Oops, made a mistake. There you go. We have a comment from Zam or Exam Rem. Your voice is soothing. Well, thank you. I used my voice to my advantage back in college and toward the beginning of my run in med school. I did a bunch of radio ads and a bunch of stuff on TV. I was the English voice. I dubbed a bunch of telenovelas into English. I was the English voice of several of your favorite artistas, several of your favorite Filipino artists on TV. Before it was dubbed to English for broadcast abroad, like on the TFC channel and so on. But I was typecast as the teenage boy, and back then, Pinoy Big Brother, or the Filipino Big Brother show, was a big hit, and the graduates from that show would get these parts in telenovelas usually, and since they were pretty young, like at the time I was dubbing, teen Pinoy Big Brother was a thing, and so I got the role of the teenage boy usually. So it's usually like the sappy rom-com kind of script, and yeah, it's really cringy, unfortunately. But they were paying me money, and so I had to do my acting. I'm not into this guy's hairstyle, to be honest, but well, this is one of the things I'm grateful for in this digital medium. You can undo. Oh. Now, one of the things that I am struggling with when with this whole Apple Pencil and iPad is there is no friction. Like when you draw with a pen or ink with a pen or brush on paper, you do have this certain amount of resistance, but this is just sliding all over the place. It's just something to get used to. I don't hate it or anything, but it's one of those things that I'm struggling with, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I'm not into this guy's hair, but oh well. Doing another shortcut. I'm not doing the whole... With comic strips, at least, you don't have to go into so much detail, I feel. You just have to be able to get your point across, and that's enough. Especially if you're doing like a daily comic strip. Like I supposedly am, although I'm unable to to do the daily strip anymore. My medical career had somewhat progressed, and yeah, that has taken time off of cartooning, unfortunately. Oh, I have a comment from Brian. Yeah, you know, so you know what I mean. That it's different. It's different. And sometimes you know, the pen kind of slides too much, but it's not necessarily wrong. You know what I mean? It's just it just is. It's just a thing of the medium. We have a comment from D. To be fair, it's a good problem. Yeah, you're right. It is. But like I keep saying, being an artist, this whole cartooning thing, it is something that I just have to do, you know? I could have been happy just being a doctor. Just being a doctor. But I just had to. I had to get into cartooning. Whether I'm doing it all by myself, by being a webcomic. But one thing led to another. I did get in a national newspaper. So... can't complain, and I'm very, very lucky that my editor is also very forgiving and very understanding of my situation. I do have to say, oh, we have another comment from Jeremy. Yes, daily comics is so draining. I stopped doing that too a while back. It is, you know what? It is true. Oh, by the way, we have more greatness among us. Jeremy Sanchez is a wonderful cartoonist as well. You may be able to... am I allowed to say what you do? Because I know this is your real name. So I'm gonna hold off on that for now. Oh yeah, someone retweeted one of my tweets. So we have another comment from Shy Penciler. But anyway, yes, Jeremy Sanchez, brilliant cartoonist, super funny guy. I want to tell you what comic he does, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. Oh, okay, I am. All right, so Jeremy does a Mushroom Comic, a wonderful web comic. You can find his stuff on Instagram as at Mushroom Comic. So do check it out. We have a comment from Shy Penciler. Sir, I just noticed that you're right-handed. I thought all artists are left-handed. Haha, because I'm... there is like this theory that the... Oh, another comment from Jeremy. Oh, come on, Doc, that's too much. No, I mean, I love your work. Yeah, so do check out his stuff, Mushroom Comic, or Mushroom Movie. What was it again? Mushroom Movie Comic, or Mushroom Movie. I'm sorry. but I always see his posts on Instagram, and yeah, his stuff is brilliant, to be honest. So Shy Penciler, yeah, there is this theory about being left-brained and right-brained, like whichever hemisphere of your brain, you know, and so on. Like the right-brained people are supposedly, I forgot which is which, to be honest, because I don't subscribe to that theory. But yeah, if you're right-brained, or was it left-brained, that you're more creative, and the other side is a bit more scientific, I guess, or more concrete. I don't know if I subscribe to that theory, but I can't disprove it either. But anyway, depending on your dominant side is actually the opposite. Your handedness, so to speak, is actually the if, for example, I'm right-handed, that means I'm actually left-brained. You know, all the nerves and so on actually cross over to the opposite side as it goes down from your brain to the rest of your body. So, well, there are some exceptions with some cranial nerves, but anyway. So yeah, so me being right-handed means I'm left-brained. One interesting thing that I do notice, and this is just me, is that when I'm on my creative streak, when you're in the zone, when you're doing your creative work, it does require effort for me to kind of switch over to being a scientist. It's weird. I can't really explain why that is, but I do experience that. So we have a comment from Jeremy again. Yes, Mushroom Movie, but it's comic. But yeah, he has done some animated stuff for his comics, so do check those out. And I believe that he's actually working on more animations. Wait a minute, this is so weird. So there's 3 of us lefties here right now. Oh, really? Did anyone mention that they're lefties? I don't know. It might not have been... Oh, yeah. So... Well, I'm not a lefty. I'm a right-handed person. Anyway, so, yeah. So I've actually experienced this where someone actually showed me like a message that they got on either Viber or WhatsApp, I forgot, about, that they received of a certain therapy for a certain disorder, and yeah. In the comic, I do take extra precautions to make sure that I am not describing one patient in particular. So I'm not here to make fun of any patients. I'm not here to make fun of any group of patients. Normally, most of my humor is I'm making fun of the doctors, but like in this case, I'm not making fun of the patient, but of the general situation. That scientific explanation about drawing is so cool, Doc. Thank you. But I don't know if that really is a scientific explanation. That's just something again, this is anecdotal and observational evidence. It's not science per se. I didn't conduct any study on on what I was experiencing. It's just that's the way it's rolling for me. So I do have to say that it might not be the same for everyone else. We have a comment from D. I mean, your topics and themes are universal in the medical field. Yes, and that's intentional. That it's a very broad gag. You know, it applies to pretty much anybody. Your topics and themes are universal in the medical field, and it's easily emphasized by how exaggerated the situations are. Yes, they are exaggerated. For entertainment value, of course. We're here to entertain, after all. Oh, I wanted a particular... Oh, still not working. There. This is how I draw glazed eyes, when eyes are glazed over and like I'm not really paying attention anymore. Not sure if it's working, but that's how I do it. Oh, we're in the presence of more greatness. Oh my gosh, the great Freely Abrigo is here. Absolutely brilliant cartoonist. And a colleague of mine at the Samahang Cartoonista ng Pilipinas, or the Philippine Cartoonists Association. And yes, good evening. Thanks for being here, sir. His hair does remind me of Guile. There was supposed to be like this that I was going to outline with white with a white line work, but you know what? I'll probably have to do the colors on this tomorrow. probably on live stream again. You know, I'm getting a lot of work done since I started doing this, and I'm very open to doing a stream with other cartoonists. Like we could all just get together and you know, work on our stuff online, kind of like a drink and draw. Drinking, of course, optional, but I will. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I just saw Jeremy's comment. I'm supposed to have a chat box up in my, or you know what? I think what's happening is yeah, it's odd that nothing's showing up, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Anyway, we have another comment from Shy Penciler. I can feel like I'm the only youngest artist here. No, you know what? There's a very good possibility that everyone here is younger than me. I'm getting there. I'm becoming an old guy. So don't worry about that. Age is just a number. Since we're talking about age, oh my gosh. So, well, D. Parson revealed his age. It's 25. I was just about to say that I'm celebrating Callous Comics' 25th anniversary this year, this August. Same age as the great D here. That's that was funny because I was just about to say it before I saw your comment. So no, I'm in far greater number of years than my own comic, and from D, and actually. Yeah, the comic started in 1996. And it had different publishing homes over the years until finally I decided just to make it a webcomic and to give up my dreams about being in the newspapers. Shy Penciler, I'm surrounded by... This got covered up. There. I'm surrounded by greatest artists. Oh my god. Whenever you're among artists, everyone is great. Really. We're adding beauty to the world, you know, and beauty being the good and bad stuff in the world. We're showcasing it. Another comment from D. I'm as old as one of the greatest indie comic strips out here. Nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate how much you love my stuff, man. And that love is reciprocated. I love Rosebuds. I honestly have not read a lot of your other stuff, to be perfectly honest. But what I've seen, I do like. But yeah, Rosebuds is the one that really gets to me. I love Maria. And Plush Maria. Oh, that hand. Ugh. But I'm gonna keep it. Oh, geez, I didn't like that. It being a piece of technology, it does require a bit more sharpness. Although I feel I did do previous panels in freehand. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Okay. Procreate and I did not see eye to eye on that in that moment. One of the old running gags that I had with like the beef and brown sauce. I do want to make a comic strip about that again, because I did find a product from the supermarket that is the beef and brown sauce that I would have in the hospital mess hall. Oh, from D, we have another comment. Don't worry, life with Konami and pen and ink are rather hard to get into. LWK because it was my first professional comic in 2015 and reeks of baby's first comic. And pen and ink is a comic book series, so it's hard to read without getting the books. Oh, okay. But you have posted some of them online, and I do like them, but I can't really get into them with just the limited amount that I've found. But with Rosebuds, it's a totally different thing because it's readily available, and it's super easy to get into because it is a lovable comic. But I'll be forever envious of you that you got to meet the great Jim Davis. I mean, he was a huge inspiration of mine. You may have noticed that I do go against conventional wisdom. Oh, I didn't like that. That I do not do the speech bubbles and dialogue before I start drawing. So I'm going to tell everyone who does watch this, that's what you're supposed to do. But since I've been doing it this way for so long, I just can't correct myself. Now, the reason why you would want to do your dialogue and your speech bubbles first is so that they don't cut off your artwork. So many a time that has happened to me. One of the things I picked up from Jim Davis's art was this straight line that he does through the eyes. I don't show it on the inks anymore. It used to be one straight line when you have that flat eyelid thing. I did. When did I decide to stop doing the one straight line? But anyway, like he would have this one straight line through the eyes. I still do that on pencils. I like the effect. And yeah. So we have another comment. Do you ever plan on doing a comic stream with other comic creators? There is a plan to do it with a couple of my comic friends, but we just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. But I would like to. I mean, it would be fun. We could just pretty much chit-chat the same as we're doing right now without having to type what we're saying. Another thing that I picked up from Jim Davis's art is these eyelash things. At least back in his old stuff, when he would so earlier when I was talking about he had that flat line when he's drawing Garfield. I ran out of space, but yeah. I kind of picked that up for my own stuff. And also when he would draw females, one of the things he would do, and not just females but also younger characters like Nermo. Like for example, if this were a girl cat, like he'd have these things. So that's another one of those things that I picked up from him. I also picked up some techniques from Bill Watterson, particularly when it comes to inking, and also of course from Charles Schultz. Oh jeez. I have this thing that I say every time that happens, and I caught myself saying it in one of my previous streams, but I'll say it again, you know. Close your lines. Gilbert Monsanto always tells you, close your lines. Gilbert Monsanto is a wonderful comic book artist. He's also Filipino, and he's a wonderful inspiration to all of us who entered the comic scene after him. But yeah, one day he posted on Facebook that, you know, exactly what I said, you know, artists, close your lines, it'll help your colorist or inker or whatever so much when you're putting in your flat colors. So that always sticks into my head, or it always comes to mind whenever I have that issue, when I don't close my line work and I try to do a fill and it just goes all over the place. So no, he doesn't always say it, but he only said it once technically, but I tell myself that all the time. Oh geez, did I draw a... Oh yeah, this is Marianne's first appearance. You know, yeah, I should remove that. It doesn't make sense to have the stethoscope around your neck when you're in an online consultation, because you cannot auscultate the patient, or you can't listen to the patient with your stethoscope. So that was a mistake on my part. Alright, one last thing to do. Good old signature, which I messed up. Kaz. And my bye-bye-in. Once a month now? 7. I'm actually not happy with one part of this. Oh, I destroyed everything. Just do it over. Let's make the line a little bit smaller. Nice, so that's it. That's a, oh, you can hear the CPU processing. Check it for a virus. I'm afraid I didn't get that. What what were we talking about? So yeah, so that's a comic strip, all penciled and inked, and of course, one of my favorite things to do is to just remove the inks. Pencils, just like that. I'm old enough to to know the pains of having to erase your pencils after you've inked, and I've experienced many crumpled papers from that process. We have a comment from Brian. Do you color and type in Photoshop? Yes, I do that. I also do my speech bubbles on Photoshop via a method that was taught to us in The Artists by the great and late Jerry Alangilan. And it's still available on his blog online on how to make these speech bubbles. But it'll be quite a task to go through his archive to find that link. But yeah, yes. So what I normally do is I transfer the PSD file of this to Google Drive, then download it onto my laptop where I color and letter and everything. The reason why I do that primarily is because I'm able to control the CMYK values in Photoshop more than in Procreate. That helps me avoid misregistration in the printing. But yeah, I usually explain all that when I actually do the stream on coloring. So hopefully I'll be able to do that tomorrow, the coloring of this comic strip, and but I'll hopefully be able to publish the comic strip that I was working on yesterday in the morning. So that's it for today. Thank you very much to, oh my gosh, we have 16 likes for this stream. That's pretty high for me. So let me bring that back. So thanks to Brian, Jeremy, D, Shy Penciler. There was another person. To Freely, Sir Freely, to Zamrem, and everyone who dropped by. Super D, who was also D. Thank you for dropping by. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day or night wherever you are.